everybody, it's Kelly with Soulful Creations, and I'm here with another tutorial. This time I'm doing the Reena Handheld Bag by TobiStylx. So, when I first saw this one, I said, I gotta make this one. I have to do a tutorial on this one. And I was so happy when Tobi asked me because I was already gonna beg her to let me do it anyway. I love the shape of this bag. I love the detail with this zipper. This zipper panel was just, the construction of it was so different and so unique. And I was just excited. I just couldn't wait to get to that part. So let me show you what's going on with this bag, okay? So like I said, this very unique zipper panel, it snaps on the sides, okay? So you have these magnetic snaps and that opens up. So that way you're able to open up the zipper here and it opens up wide to this nice fitting lining. There's a zipper pocket on one side, and I did a little different slip pocket. I did the regular slip pocket with trim, but she has also in the pattern, there's a welt slip pocket that's a little simpler, and so you can do that pocket as well. So like I said, look how well the lining fits. It's so nice. It's and no, you know, it's not saggy at all. On the bottom, there's purse feet. You have this nice little trim detail on the front and the back. And the handles are secured within the seam. You can add a couple of rivets on the handles too if you want. You know, I didn't think it needed it. But you certainly could if you felt you wanted to do that. So again, you can, it has a two zipper pulls on the zipper panel, and you just close that up, cinch those sides, and just snap it closed, and your bag is so secure. So look at that cute little shape. Look at that. It's so cute and adorable. I love it. And the structure is so nice. It's not, you know, it's not too soft. It's not too stiff. It's just right. So anyway, enough said. If you're loving this bag like me, get the pattern. The link will be in the description, and you can sew along with me. I'm going to take you step by step to making the Reena Handheld Bag by TobiStylx. So get ready to sew with me. So let's get started making our Reena Handheld Bag by TobiStylx. So we're going to start off with our main panels. So you should have two main panels. Mine are cut from this cork, and I don't have any interfacing or stabilizer on it just yet. Okay, these center pieces cut out. I have these cut out from black vinyl, and this is four pieces of those. And then we have our side panels, and that's also cut from a different vinyl, and you need 4 of those as well. And nothing, like I said, is interfaced or stabilized at this point. Excuse me. So we're going to take one of our main panels and our middle panels. These are called, let me just get the right name for it so I'm not saying that wrong. They're called middle. Yeah, I was saying that right. Middle panels. So these are middle panels, okay? So they're going to go, one's going to go on each side of the main panel. So we're going to go ahead and clip that one, and we're going to sew it at the seam allowance that's given in a pattern, which I believe is 1/4 inch. Okay. She says you can draw the lines, the seam allowance on as well, but I did not. But go ahead and do that if you feel you need to. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and sew this on at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Okay. And I'll take the second one. So these are right sides together, in case I didn't say that, or if that wasn't obvious. So we're going to do right sides together. And so this one also at 1/4 inch. Okay. You know, look what I forgot. I cut my thread yesterday because I was showing somebody something. And I was just sewing with no thread. Good thing I had enough hanging there. Isn't that funny? Oh my gosh, that is so funny. I would have just eventually just like ran out of thread right there. So, gotta go ahead and fix that. I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? So I'm just gonna tie a little knot here. And then maybe we can just cut this part out.
Say leave it in there.
You say leave it in there?
Yeah.
You like to show my bloopers,
yes,
don't you? Just like a child that wants to say, look, see, Mom makes mistakes too.
Right. Mistakes are okay.
All
Because
right.
trust me, if I was making the bag, there would be a lot more mistakes.
I'm just gonna pull that through. Maybe not. Okay. Then once I get here, I'll cut it so that I can, because I did not want to have to rethread the whole machine.
See, think smarter, not harder. I said think smarter, not harder.
I'd rather thread the needle than have to thread the whole machine. Okay, so now we got that straight. All right. Okay, so now that we have the middle panel sewn onto the main panel, we're going to fold the seam allowance towards the middle panels, and we're going to top stitch onto the middle panel. Okay, 1/8 of an inch. Top stitching right onto the middle panel. Better turn that on. Okay, so it'll look just like that. Top stitching, we're going to do the other side. Okay, so now it should be looking like this, and we're going to repeat that with the other one. But before I do that, I'm going to take the side panels now. So I'm going to take 2 of my side panels, and I'm going to place 1 on each side, so right sides together on that middle panel, and we're going to sew this side. All right, so we're going to sew the side panel on at 1/4 inch seam allowance, just like we did with the middle panel. Okay. And then we're going to push the seam allowance towards the side panel. And we're going to top stitch onto the side panel this time. Okay. And it should look like this. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side with the other side panel. And then let's top stitch this one onto the side panel. Okay. All right. So now we have one hole. So this would either be your front or back. It's done. We're going to go ahead and repeat the exact same steps on the other pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and get those done, and then I'll be back. Alrighty, I'm back. I have done the other panels. So now I have my two exterior panels. I think they look so good. Oh my goodness. Okay. And now we just need to attach our base panel. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to mark the centers here. I've already installed my purse feet, as you can see. So she gives you the measurements on where to install your purse feet. So you can do it now, or you can do it after you sew the base on. But I just decided to go ahead and get it out the way now. So I marked those centers on the long side, and I'm going to do the same thing right here at the bottom. Gotta mark these centers. Okay, so line that up. And the same thing on this one. And we're gonna get that. Go ahead and get that on. Okay. So now we have the centers marked. We can go ahead and sew our base on at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. And then I also have Decaville Heavy as my stabilizer on my base. And I went ahead and fused that on as well. You can use Decaville Heavy, you can use Ottertex, whatever your choice of stabilizer is. So we're going to fold that back, fold the seam allowance down toward the base, and we're going to top stitch. Get away from me, thread. Okay, so now top stitch right onto the base. And I got this cork a while back from my good old sister friend, Isla. So if you're watching, shout out to Isla. I'm finally putting it to some use, girl. Yes, so thank you, Isla. I just could never find like just the right color brown that I wanted to put with it. But this Spice, it's called Spice from Indo Love Creation. I thought it goes so good with this, so I had to use it. So now we're going to go ahead and attach it to the other panel. Same way, 3/8 of an inch. Ooh, somebody out there playing around. Okay, now we're going to top stitch. We just got weird neighbors sometimes. Or is that one of my kids?
No, that's you.
Oh, that's one of my kids. I got weird kids. Oh my goodness. That's my youngest daughter. If y'all heard her, if y'all can hear that little crazy laugh. Okay. Blaming the neighbors, and it's my own child. Ooh, tell you. Alrighty, so I'm gonna go ahead and so now this is what we have. Looking good, right? Yeah. All right. So now what we're going to do is across the top, we're going to mark out 1 inch. Okay. Because this is going to be a drop-in lining. So we're going to mark out 1 inch across the top. I get that. Well, Emma, it doesn't want to write on here. Get a different. Oh, it's writing fine on paper. Let me see if it'll do it now. Oh, yeah. Had to think about it. Okay, so let's get my 1 inch marked across here. Okay. And we do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so now once you have that done, now we can go and place our stabilizer. Now, we have these stabilizer pieces from Decaville Heavy, so it looks like this, okay? And they're going to get placed like this, okay? So we're going to center that and line it up right under the 1 inch mark, so like that. okay? Because these sides are going to fold down, so they have these cutouts, so you don't have all that stabilizer when the sides get folded down. But she also suggests that if whatever material you're using is particularly thin, then you can also cut out these pieces of foam, and you can add foam. You can adhere the foam first and then add your stabilizer on top of the foam. So I'm going to just look at this and I'm going to see, because the cork, it's a little thin, and I don't want this to be too slouchy. So I'm kind of looking at it, and I'm going to determine if I want to add the foam or not. And I kind of think I do. I kind of think I like the way that's going to feel with the foam. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to adhere my stabilizer, get the foam, and then the Decaville Heavy on top. And I'll come back, and then we're going to go ahead and finish up sewing up the exterior. Right, so I have my stabilizers on to my exterior. I did go ahead and use the foam and the Decaville Heavy. I used my Cricut Easy Press at 300 for 15 seconds with a Teflon sheet over it to press it onto my foam, and it did just fine. I adhered the foam onto the exterior with some double-sided tape. And so I think that's looking really good. I also went ahead and added a label. I just centered it where I wanted it to go, where I thought looked good. So, I mean, just put your label wherever you want if you have one. So now I'm going to go ahead and make the handles. And I have my 2 handle pieces. I have some double-sided tape down the center, and I also added some Decaville Light on one side just to have a little more stability in my handles. So now I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to fold into the center line. And you could attach your handles before you put your stabilizer on if you want. I just decided I wanted to just go ahead and put my stabilizer on and then attach my handles, so they weren't in the way when I was pressing my stabilizer on. So I'm going to go ahead, and I'm just making a regular strap. So I'm folding the 2 long edges to the center, and then we're going to fold it one more time to enclose the raw edges. And then we're going to top stitch all around. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get this done. And then we're going to attach it to our exterior. Okay, so go ahead. So not doing anything. Seems it was sounding funny, and it's not. Okay, I can always tell when my machine is sounding a little funny. My bobbin thread did something goofy. Okay. Ooh, I heard something. I think I had, when I snipped my thread earlier, I think I accidentally had snipped my bobbin thread, because that. Okay, so let's try that again. I did cut my handles a bit longer than the pattern stated. I think I cut mine at 18 inches. And I can't remember what the measurement was for the handles, but I cut mine longer. I do know I cut mine longer. Because there's no crossbody strap. And so if I'm going to have a shoulder strap, I like it to be a little bit longer. Okay. Okay, so this is what we have here. So we're going to have a strap. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do the other one. But before I do that, let me show you how we're going to place it onto the bag. So we're going to mark my ruler. We're going to mark 1/2 inch from this middle strip. Okay, so 1/2 inch. I'm going to make a mark. Like that. The same thing on this side. Okay. And that's where we're going to put our handles here. So we're going to put it here and then the other side. Make sure you don't twist it. And we're going to add it like that. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to base my handles on. And I think you should go ahead and just extend it up just a little, maybe like a 1/4 inch, maybe like a 1/4 inch high above the top. Or no, this is a drop in, so we won't do that because we're going to be folding. We're going to be folding this down. We're going to be folding that seam allowance down, so we don't want that to extend down. So that's okay. So let's just go ahead and we're going to make it even with the top and we're going to base that. Okay, so then that way when we get to folding this raw edge over, then our handles will be like such. Okay, so anyway, so I'm going to go ahead, make the other handle, get them attached to the exterior, and then we'll be ready to sew up the sides and the bottom, the box bottom, and then we'll be ready to do our lining. Or maybe the zipper panel comes first. But whatever, we'll be ready for the next step. So let me go ahead and do the handle. Okay. We have our handles in place, and now we're going to bring it together, right sides together, and we're going to sew up these side seams at 3/8 of an inch. So let me clip that together. Okay, so we're doing the sides. Over there. Let's get a couple of clips in place here. Okay. And now we're going to do the other side the same way. And now we're going to do the bottom. So here on the bottom, I should have marked my center, but I didn't, but it's okay. I can still do that. So I'm going to mark the center on the short side of my base here. So I'm just matching it up down there. You can see the bottom there, and I'm going to mark the center here. Okay. I'm going to use the seam on the sides, and I'm going to open it up. So I'm opening up the side, and I'm going to match that up with that center mark. And bring that together. Clip that in place. And then the rest should match up. Okay. So we should have it clipped like this. And we're going to sew across at 3/8 of an inch. So I'm going to set my bag up like this. And I think that's the easiest way, like this. And kind of push down and sew across at 3/8 of an inch. Okay. There we go. So it should look just like that. And we'll do the same thing on this side. So match your center points first. And then line up the rest. I'm going to flip it like this and sew across. Line that up just a little bit better. I'm gonna make sure that it's nice and straight. Okay. Yep. Ready. There we go. The exterior is done. And now we can turn it out and kind of see if we have any. Oh man, I gotta redo this because when I moved it, I caused a little bobble right there. So I have to unstitch this side. I didn't realize I did that. It's okay though. I can see that there's a little pucker right here, and I don't know how I did that. Okay, but no harm, no foul. I just need to unstitch this one little part. See, that's why you should always check. Just check before you get to doing too much. So I'm gonna go ahead, and I just need to just do this little part here. All right, so I'm just unstitching that part. I didn't have this all the way over toward the end. So watch that. Make sure that there's no bobble wobbles. Okay, there we go. So now let me restitch that part. Boop. Hopefully I'll get it where I need it to go. Make sure it's a little, because I have all this stabilizer in there too, so. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna start a little ways up here and then take it back. Alrighty, now just make sure that looks okay. Gotta correct your mistakes. When we look inside. Make sure I like the way that looks. Okay, I'm gonna turn it out so I can get a better look. Okay, so be careful with the stabilizer. You don't want to bend it too much. This is cork. It will crease. Okay, so don't bend too much. And hopefully it looks okay. If not, then I will go back and fix it. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. And I think this side looks pretty good. Okay. We have a little bit of crease over there. Alrighty. So that's what it should be looking like. Just like that. Now it looks a little funny because remember, this is going to fold down, okay, to meet. We're going to put a snap here. So don't worry about that. I'm just trying to make sure that I like the way this is sewn up down here. I think I'm going to have to go in and just stitch, so because I can see where my previous stitches were right there. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up these sides because I'm not 100% happy with the way they look. Then we're going to come back and put our magnetic snaps on. Well, I'll tell you, the magnetic snaps go on 4 1/4 inch from the top and centered here. So just if you have the kind with a rivet, just make sure you don't go into your seam. But I have the kind with the prongs, so I won't have to worry about my seam. It will be centered right over the seam. So 4 1/4 inch. And I think we're going to put the female side of the magnetic snap. Yes, so the female side of the magnetic snap. So I'm going to go ahead, clean up this bottom, put my magnetic snaps on, and then we'll come back to do the zipper. Okay, so now we're ready to do our zipper panel. But first, let me show you that I did put the magnetic snaps on the sides of the exterior. So this is the female portion of the magnetic snap, and it's 1 on each side, 4 1/4 inches down from the top. So we got that ready. So now there's 2 options for the zipper panel. If you want to do one with no raw edges, then you're going to use the pieces that I have here. So this is F1. You need to cut 2 of F1. It will look like this. There's some markings that you are going to draw on the back that are on the pattern piece. And we're going to place some strips of double-sided tape along this. So there's some cuts here that you have to make. And this center part here, we're not going to put any tape here in the center. So follow the pattern for the lines that you need to draw, where you need to place your double-sided tape. I've done the first one here. And I've brought the raw edges in so that this part has no raw edges and this part does, because this part is going to get sewn into the seam allowance, so we didn't need to fold that part in. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing with this one that I did with this one already. And then you also need your 16-inch piece of zipper tape. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove the backing off the double-sided tape, and I will show you how I folded this in. You can also use glue if you want to use glue. Okay. So we're going to start over here where we have this slit cut, and we're going to fold it into the line that we drew. Okay. Don't press all the way down to the edge. And then we're going to fold the other side the same way. Okay. So it's going to look like this. And now we're going to also fold this diagonal edge into the line that we drew, and we're going to press those corners together. So right where the corner, where they intersect, right there, and we're going to fold that in, and we're going to do the same thing over here, and we're bringing that into that line, and we're bringing those corners together. And then the same thing up here with this one at the point. Okay, so it's going to look like that. It's going to look like that. And we're just going to snip these little points off. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on this side. Okay, so if you don't mind the raw edges, then you can follow option 2, and you will cut pieces F2A and F2B. Okay, so you will not cut these pieces. So decide whichever you want to do and cut accordingly. Okay. So I know it's okay to have raw edges with cork, but I just decided I would rather not have the raw edges. So let me go ahead and just do this. Okay, so now that I have that, I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to trim off these points here. So I'm just going to follow that, right, and then just snip. I like how they pop over there at Jasmine. It's like a little game we play now. Okay, so okay, just like that. So now we have both pieces the same here. Okay, so now we're going to take our zipper tape, and we'll take one of these, and we're going to pull our zipper tape apart. Okay, and we're going to take 1/2, and also I forgot to mention we have this slit in the middle, and then also it's a little slit right across the top on each end. Okay, that's our zipper window. So we're going to lay our zipper tape along one of those edges. So center it the best you can. So it doesn't have to be exact, but you want enough zipper tape extending past the end of the window on each end. Okay, so make sure there's enough on each end, and we're going to put that right sides together. And we're going to add some clips, and we're going to sew that. This first one, I'm going to baste it on. Okay. So again, I'm going to get that in place, and I'm going to clip it down. So right sides together, right along this raw edge. So this is a totally new way to do this, to do a zipper panel. My first time doing this as well, so let's see how it goes. Okay, so now we're going to sew. So if you see on this back side, we can sew right there. So where that slit is, where this short side, we're going to start right there, and we're going to sew I'm just going to baste it on. So I can see it from the front better. I'm going to baste it on this time, at this time. I'm not going to sew at the full seam allowance just yet. Okay. So I'm going to baste this on. Getting to the end here. Okay. So just like that. Okay, so we have it just like this. And now we're going to take the other piece and we're going to do the same thing. Okay. And I'll just try to line up the zipper tape. Okay. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing and base that side on. Make sure you don't sew into the other side. Okay, so now we have the zipper tape attached to one side, one zipper panel. So now we're going to take the other zipper panel and we're going to place that on top, right sides together, and we're going to match up these slits that we cut. Okay, right there. Match it up. And we're going to clip the raw edge here again. So the zipper tape should be sandwiched in the middle. And we're going to sew that on at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So make sure both sides are matched up where we cut those slits. Okay. And we have a center mark as well, so we can make sure that both centers lined up. Okay. Okay. And now we're going to sew down at a 1/4 inch. I moved it a little. Make sure it's matched up again. And it's shifting on me. Okay, there we go. Making sure these are lined up, matched up. I'm going to put these in place too, just to make sure it doesn't move. There we go. A 1/4 inch. And if you need to, you can change to your zipper foot. I'm just gonna make sure these are all lined up together properly. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I went ahead and I sewed the one side, and I'm going to go ahead and clip and sew the other side. I did go ahead and switch to my, oops, just dropping stuff. I went and switched to my zipper foot. Thank you, Jazzy. Because I felt I wasn't getting an accurate 1/4 inch seam allowance with my regular foot. So, and I think it's important here with this step. So I wanted to make sure that I'm getting a 1/4 inch. So so I clipped this other side. Like I said, the zipper tape is sandwiched in between. So we're just sewing right along inside this area at 1/4 inch. Okay. So let me find my 1/4 inch mark there. Okay, right there. Yeah, we're gonna go. I really don't, I will try not to switch out my foot if I can, but in this case I needed to. So do what you gotta do. Okay. So we're almost to this side here. So, alrighty. So now we are going to take one side and we're going to flip it through the window to the other side. So we're going to take one side here, one side of the zipper panel, and we're going to push it through this window and flip it so that these zipper panels are wrong sides together. Okay, so just push it through, and it's going to be a little weird at first, but match up these points. Go ahead, and then your zipper tape, the tail should be pushed up through. So we're pushing up the tails up through as well. So let me grab those tails and bring them up through that slit that we cut. Okay, make sure we get them in there. Okay. Wait, did I do that right? Hold on, I'm sorry. Remember, I told you this was my first time doing this way. So I just need to make sure. There we go. So I got one pulled through, and I'm just pulling the tails of the zipper tape up because there's a little hole here. Because we want them to be in between the two panels on the wrong side. So I just want to make sure I get it up through there. Okay. Yep, let me grab some little pliers to help. There we go. Yeah. There we go now. I think I twisted it, but there. Now, Now that'll do. So I just had to pull the zipper tape up through. Okay, so now I'm going to line up these points here. And then I will start matching this up. Okay, so we're matching up these ends here. I'm just getting everything clipped down. And your zipper teeth should be in that zipper window. Okay. Okay. Okay, so it should look like that. But before, you know what I forgot to do? Aren't y'all wondering what's missing?
Mm.
How are we going to open and close the zipper?
Oh.
So after I went through pulling my zipper ends to the other side, I didn't realize that I forgot to put my zipper pulls on. So make sure. Disaster avoided. Grab your zipper pulls. You're going to put one on each end. Okay. Oh, gosh. Sometime when you learn a new method, you just have to make a few mistakes to get it right. Okay. So let me get this. Let me burn this so I can get this on because those little tails are getting in the way. So I'm just attaching my zipper pull. And you got to be kind of crafty here because it's not a whole lot of wiggle room here. Okay. There we go. I think I got one side on. Not straight enough though. Yeah, got that side on. Now I can push that through. So I need to bring this through up through here. Like that. Okay. So it should be looking like this. Okay. And this extra, I cut my zipper a little bit longer, so I'm going to trim some of that down. But that's the way it should be looking. Okay. Got a little. So just got a little. There we go. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead. I got to pull this back out and put the other zipper tail in. No problem. Okay. So, okay, Jazzy. Go do what you gotta do, girl. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and burn this a little bit like I did the other side so I can get my zipper pulled on. Okay. This one. A little bit. Now, option 2 is the easier option with the raw edges. So if you're feeling like this, if I'm making it look too cumbersome, then you can go that route. But it really isn't. It's because I made a mistake. So let me turn that back right. It's my mistake, and I'm so sorry. Okay. So flip that back and get your zipper pull on. Okay. I caught myself cutting my zipper a little bit longer so that I wouldn't have to struggle to get my zipper pull on, but there we go. Now, almost lined up. There. Okay, now. Can you believe I did that? Okay. This is going to be what for the blooper reels. Look at that. Okay. Now, this is all going to get put together. Like I said, I need to trim down the extra zipper tape because it's going to be in the way. Make sure you burn those ends so they don't fray. Make sure these points are all matched up, looking good. Clip them in place. We're not going to sew it down just yet. I'm just clipping just to make sure everything's matching up. Okay. Everything's looking a-okay. Now that I've bobbled through, got it all. Okay. So I'm going to clip that. And clip. Grab my clips. I'm just clipping everything down. I think that's looking okay. And we'll trim this side down. Get this put. Alrighty. Let's see how that's looking. Alright, looking okay. Looking a-okay. Then we're going to top stitch around the zipper window. Once I get all this clip looking good here. Just like that. And pull this to the center. Okay. Not too shabby, I think. Okay. So this is what our zipper panel looks like. Forgot to clip this part. This is what our zipper panel looks like. And now we're going to sew around the zipper window. Let me just double check so I'm not doing anything wrong. Yep. That's what we're doing. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to top stitch around that zipper window. Okay. I think, do I want to leave my zipper? Do I want to leave my zipper foot on? Or do I want to change to my regular foot? I think I'll have more control if I change to my other foot. So I'm going to go ahead and switch it out back to my regular foot. Be real quick about it. Yeah, I think Sometimes that little narrow foot, it just doesn't grip like I want it to. I'm going to switch back. Okay, so now let's go ahead and top stitch that. Okay, so I'm going to start over here. Move this clip out the way. 1/8 of an inch from that window. I'm going to leave long tails. Looking pretty good. Keep it going. So just take your time, keeping everything matched up. So I'm going to pull those tails back to the back here before I forget. Get this. Let me put this. There we go. All right, here we go. Pull it to the back, and I'll tie these off. And we're going to add the other half of our magnetic snap, and we're going to get ready to attach this, I believe. I will double check. Down. Okay, so there is our zipper, double zipper panel. Looks pretty good. Okay, so let me just double check and see what we're doing next. I know we're putting the other half of the magnetic snap on. Then after that, Then we're going to top stitch all around the whole thing. Okay, so we're going to put the magnetic snap. So it's going to go on the back part. So not on the part with the front of the zipper. So on the back, where the back of the zipper shows, we're going to add the other part of the magnetic snap, 3/4 inch from, what did she say? 3/4 inches from the pointed edge. So 3/4 inch from the pointed edge and centered. And we're going to put that on, and then we're just going to top stitch around the whole thing. Okay, around the outer perimeter. So I'm going to go ahead and add my magnetic snap, and I'll be back. So I have the whole zipper panel complete. I've top stitched around the entire thing. I have the other half of the magnetic snap on each end. So then now we're going to get ready to do the lining next, but I just kind of want to show you so you can see how it's going to come together. So this is going to get snapped here. This once it gets attached to the rest of the bag, and so you kind of get an idea of how it's taking shape. So that's how it's coming along. And so I think that is going to look so cute. So anyway, you know how I like to take a little sneaky peeky of what the bag is looking like before I get it done. So anyway, this is what it's starting to look like. And like I said, I'm going to grab my lining pieces, and then we're going to come back and get started on the lining. Alrighty. Hi, so we're back getting ready to do the lining. So you should have your lining, your 2 lining pieces, your zipper tape and zipper pull, and your overlay and your main lining piece. So I've already attached my overlay onto one of my main lining pieces. According to the pattern, it's 2 inches down from the top and centered. So I have that there. Then on your other main lining piece, you're going to put your slip pocket. Now I am doing a regular slip pocket with trim. The pattern, it's like more like a welt slip pocket. And, you know, so I just decided I wanted to do this because I wanted to add a little more of the print here on my lining. So I'm just doing a regular slip pocket. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this, do these pockets. And I'm not going to really go show myself doing it because, you know, I've done it so many times, and I have the video on the zipper pocket with overlay. I really need to do a little short on how I do my slip pockets too. But let me just recap. So I cut a whole piece of, I don't do 2 pieces for my slip pocket. And then I fold in the raw edges on the side. So I did a 1/4 inch, and then I fold it in half, and the raw edges are here. And then I just basted those raw edges, and then I'm going to add my slip pocket trim here. Okay, and then I'm going to sew this onto my lining. So you see me doing it. If you've watched some of my videos, I've done it quite a few times in my videos. So let me go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and get these pockets attached, and then I'm going to come back here and show you how we complete the rest of the lining. Okay, so I have added my zipper pocket and my slip pocket to my lining. If I didn't mention it before, I am using waterproof canvas for my lining, so no interfacing is required. But if you're using a cotton lining, then you do need a woven interfacing for those. So okay, so now I'm going to take my zipper, my completed zipper panel, and my recess panels, and I have marked the center. So first I drew a line, so 1 inch from the top, and then I marked the centers down at the bottom of both my recess panels. So we have the 1-inch line because remember it's a drop-in lining. So we're going to fold this raw edge down to meet that line later. So we have the centers marked, and then I also marked the centers here on the raw edge portion of our zipper panel. So we're going to take one of the recess panels, and we're going to go right sides together and centered right here with the zipper panel. Okay, so we're only clipping this portion here in the middle, this with the raw edges, and we're going to baste that about 1/8 of an inch. So we're going to go ahead and baste just the raw edge portion. Do not sew on the part that has been finished already and top stitched. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead. Move these zippers out the way. Move my zipper pulls over because they're getting in the way. Okay. Okay. So it should be like that, and this part should be free. Okay, and then we're going to take the other, and we're going to do the same thing. So we're just basting it on at this point. Okay, so once we have both our recess panels basted on like that, so it should be looking like this. Okay, so now we're going to start with one side. So this is the right side of the recess panel. So let's take one of our lining panels, and we're going to start attaching this. So keep the zipper panel out of the way. We're just the part that has already been finished and top stitched. We're just attaching this part here with the raw edges. Okay, so it may seem a little weird, but just keep this down and out of the way. We don't want to sew that part. Okay. And then we're going to sew this on with 3/8 inch seam allowance. Okay. I'm going to get that clipped in place. So be very careful with this part. You do not want to sew through the finished edges of your zipper panel. Okay, so I'm going to take my time, and I'm going to make sure I do not do that. Okay, so see how it's here? I'm going to move that out of the way, and I'm going to start sewing here. Keeping it out of the way, making sure it's not in my stitch line. Okay, so keep it out of the way. Pull it up and out of the way. And it should be okie-dokie. Okay, I'm just feeling and making sure it's not in the way, and it should not be in the way. Okay. And as I get over here to this other side, okay, Again, I'm going to make sure it's not, uh-oh, forgot to drop my needle. Okay. Okay. Keeping it out of the way, not sewing through that. Okay. I think I broke my bobbin thread. I got a little carried away in my back stitch. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead. Let me fix my bobbin because I did just break it here. Whoops. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so now we're going to top stitch. So we're going to fold that down, fold the seam allowance down toward the lining panel. And we're going to top stitch. Again, do not top, not through the zipper panel. That should be free and clear. So now we're going to top stitch. Right through there. Okay. Did I do this wrong? I sure did, didn't I? Did I do that wrong? Oh, no, I didn't. I thought for a minute. I was looking at the back of the zipper panel, and you should be looking at the back of the zipper panel. I got so scared. I was like, did I do that wrong? Okay. So now. Gotta check, gotta double check. Okay. Okay. Make sure these zipper pulls are out of the way. Okay. And now we have one side attached, and it should look like this. So we have the one side. Now we're going to do the same thing with the other side. And we're going to attach it this way here. Again, making sure we keep our zipper panel out of the way. Don't want to stitch through that. Okay. Okay, this is such a clever little design here. I'm just taking every care to make sure that I don't sew over that zipper panel. Okay. Okay, so now I'm ready. 3/8 of an inch. Okay. Make sure it's out of the way. Oh, why does the dog want to bark right now?
I enjoy playing with your mom.
Yeah. No barking, doggy. Please, no barking. Tell him, say, quiet on the set. Say, quiet. Oh, yeah. I guess the dog doesn't understand. Okay. Jasmine's gonna get him under control for me out there. Okay.
They was ignoring me.
They were ignoring. Oh no, we can't have that. Don't ignore you. You're the production manager.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now we're gonna do like we did before and push the seam allowance down toward the lining. Okay, let me flip this up here. And we're gonna push that seam allowance down and we're going to top stitch. So it's gonna seem a little different than what we're used to, but it's going to work out. Trust the process. Okay. So, clever girl. Yeah. Okay, so just making sure everything is laying right. Alrighty. Okay, so this is what we have. That clear? So this is what we have here. So you see, we have the zipper panels, the ends free and clear, and we have our recess panels attached. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put right sides together like that. And again, push those zipper panels out of the way, and we're going to line this up. Okay, making sure you line the seams up really well. And now we're going to sew our side seam. Our side seams at 1/4 inch, and our bottom seam at 1/4 inch. Okay. Okay, so get that. Did I break my bobbin again? Okay. And if you watched before when I said, oh, I need to clean my machine, I still haven't got around to cleaning my machine. So it's just I can never get a time to do it, Jazzy. You gotta help me, Jazzy.
You better do it this weekend.
I know, but I do have a lot of stuff to do. I have a lot of sewing to do this weekend, though. So, but I gotta make time. So now we're gonna push the other side down to get that zipper panel out of the way. And we're going to sew the other side at 1/4 inch as well. Okay. This is such a fun and interesting bag to make. I love when I can learn a new way to do something. Okay. Well, that bobbin just keeps breaking. I don't know what's going on. It just doesn't like me today. It just doesn't. I'm going to switch my bobbin because this one just doesn't like me. I'm just going to get rid of this one. Throw it away. Get rid of it. It's just giving me the blues and I don't have time. I know, machine. I'm going to take care of you. I know. You're tired, huh? Like me. But I can't keep abusing you and neglecting you. I gotta take a moment to get it right. Okay, so now the bottom getting sewn at 1/4 inch as well. I'm trying to remember when I changed my needle last, because a lot of times when my thread starts breaking or my bobbin starts breaking, a lot of times it's because I haven't changed my needle. I think it's been a minute too since I changed my needle. I probably need to do a needle change too. Okay, so, ooh, that's looking so good. So now we have these box corners here. So we're going to open that up, bring these center seams together. I'll nest one to one side, one to the other. And we're going to sew this part at 1/2 inch. So make sure it's all matched up. We got our ends, these corners should meet up just like that. So it should look like that, just like that there. And we're going to sew that at 1/2 inch. Okay. Okay, there we go. So now, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And I went that way and this way here, okay? Half an inch there. Okay, so there we go. We have our lining done. Yep, we do. I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to trim this down by about half to like a 1/4 inch. Just on these corners here. Okay. Alrighty. I'm going to open up my zipper. Open up my zipper panel. Look at that. Looks so good. Okay, so now remember we made our line there for our drop in. So we're going to add some double-sided tape. We're going to fold that edge down. And we're going to do the same thing on the exterior. So I'm just going to take this 1/2 inch double-sided tape and I'm just going to start applying it right here across the top. Right onto the recess panel. Okay, get my side seams open. Okay, open up that side seam there. Okay. Alrighty, and I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to fold this down, and then I'm going to do the same thing to the exterior, and then we're going to be ready to drop it in and top stitch. So let me go ahead and get this folded. So that line that we drew, okay. Make sure the sides stay lined up. Open up that seam allowance a bit and keep that seam straight. Okay. Work it all around. Right. Just about there. Okay, so I'll come back after I have the exterior done the same way. Okay, and then we'll, like I said, we'll drop it in and do the top stitching. Okie dokie. So I have folded the raw edges down on both the exterior and the lining. And now I'm going to drop the lining in. So this is the front of my bag with the label. I want to put my zipper to the back. So that's how I'm going to drop it in, this way. Okay. And we're going to match these side seams. Okay. Clips here. Okay. First I'm going to match the side seams and then I'm going to start matching everything else. Okay. So I can see where the center is here Making sure the centers are matched up. And then just clip in the middle here. It looks like it's fitting nicely. Thank goodness. Okay. So that's clipped, and now we'll do this other side, finding the center right there. Ooh, this is so cute. I'm really digging this little giraffe print. Okay, so we are making our way around, and it looks like everything is fitting just fine. And that is a great thing. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so let me just bring that in a little closer there. Put another clip here. Just keep my handles nice. Okay. Oh, that's so cute. That's going to be so cute. Tuck that zipper panel down into the bag. We are not going to sew over that. Okay, so now that we have it all clipped, we're going to sew, we're going to top stitch. Now, since I have a flatbed machine, I have to top stitch from the inside. So, which means my bobbin thread is going to be on the exterior. So I really want to make sure that my bobbin, you know, I just put a fresh bobbin in, so hopefully everything be okay. And the tension should be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start. I like to start in the back. So, and I am going to leave long threads and pull it up through the seam. So I won't be back stitching. So I'm going to get my needle inserted here and find me a spot.
Did you change your needle?
I didn't, Jazzy. And I'm not going to right now.
Please, you're the right way to top stitching.
Let's open braid, Jazzy. Let's open braid. Okay. I know. I usually do change my needle, don't I? Yeah. Okay. Jazzy, don't.
I'm sorry.
If it goes bad, y'all, it's Jazzy's fault.
No, maybe it's your fault for not listening.
Oh, she's learning too much. She's learning too much, y'all. I got to stop her and get her under control. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start. I'm not going to backstitch. And hopefully, I won't have no problems, Jazzy. Ooh, yes.
Don't worry, you got this.
Thank you, Jazzy. Thank you. Okay, just need to make sure that I keep everything. So I like to use my little pliers to hold everything down as I go. Just taking my time. Okay. Ooh, I'm getting nervous now that Jazzy reminded me that I didn't change my needle.
Stop. It's only your brain.
Well, it wouldn't have been in my brain, Miss Thing, if you hadn't said anything.
I just thought of it. You said you wanted to change your needle.
Okay. Well, let's keep hope alive. Okay. So anytime I kind of go over a little hump, I just take a little, I keep these little scraps here to kind of keep under the back of my presser foot, and I just kind of push it along with it as I go. So I'm like a hump jumper. I'm using it as, okay? So I'm going to keep going here. I hope my stitches are not looking wonky, because I feel like I'm just going a little cookie. Okay, I'm going to press that down out of the way. Y'all know how I am about getting the control of these bags. Not letting them control me. Okay, so. Okay, and we're going to be going over the handle here, so it's going to get a little thick. So again, I'll just keep this right there and just kind of keep it with me as I go. It just evens out that foot so I don't skip a stitch or get a loop on the bottom, hopefully. Ooh. I feel like I hold my breath when I top stitch. I'm holding my breath. Like, oh no. Okay. Let's get those clips out. Okay, so I'm getting to the other side of the handle. So I want to get my little hump jumper in place. Okay. And just rolling my bag. Just get over here. And I'm just hoping and praying. Ready? Okay, so I'm going over the seam here. So I'm going to put that back. Get over that little hump. Ooh. Coming around to the front. Get over there. Okay. Make sure you keep that zipper panel out of the way. Okay. What's that?
That's John's phone.
Oh, John, my son. He needs to get his phone. Okay. Where are these kids? Okay, so we're almost back where we started. Okay, so I'm going to start pulling my thread over here to the back, well, which is actually to the exterior. Then I'm going to feed it through up through the seam later. So I got one more handle to sew over, and then we are getting ready to wrap this up and see what we got going on. All right, so I'm stopping right where I started. I pull those threads and pull that thread there. All right. Oh, what is it looking like? Look at that. It looks pretty good. Pretty good. I think I see one itty bitty tiny loop here. Right where, right on these little panels here. I think I got a little loop. So I can fix that. So what, huh? What did you say, Jazzy?
I said just bring it.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull the little thread from the back and just tighten that up, and then just gradually just bring that, because it just got a little tiny loop. So I'm just pulling here, just getting my stiletto right up under, and then just kind of until it evens out. Okay, like that. So it's just a tiny, I mean, so tiny. No, I probably could have put a little lighter to it, and it probably, nobody would notice. Burn, baby, burn. But it's okay. This is the way I fix those little loops sometimes. So this, it's just right there, because this part was a little thick too. And I don't know if I put the little makeshift hump jumper on this part. Okay, so here we go. We got it going on. We got it going on. Okay, so there. So this is one of the little tricks to make it go away, and we'll never even know that it was there. Okay, and then this one, just a tiny. And it may not have happened if I had changed my needle. Or if Jazzy hadn't said anything about me not changing my needle.
Don't blame me.
Okay, so let's put a little bit of fire, and it helps shrink those stitches there. Okay, so that looks good. So now, as far as these threads go, what I'm going to do is, well, one is a little bit shorter, so I'll just snip that. And I'm going to take my needle here, and I'm just going to thread these threads onto this big needle. I think I got all of them. And I'm going to go right through this hole here in the middle, and I'm going to bring that needle up through the seam here, just like that. Yeah. And then we can tie it off, and nobody will ever know that it's in there. I'll put a little dab of glue down in there. You just cut it. Yep, I'm going to cut it. Get it. I'm going to cut it. And then I just take a little dab of glue. Just get a little bitty tiny. That's it.
Let me small.
Yep. And then we're going to, I just use this to push it down in there. Make sure they're buried really good. Okay. There we go. So whoop. That's done. It's all there. And now we can zip this up and we're going to push this in and we're going to snap. Oops. Push it in good there. We're going to snap it in place like such and do the same thing over here. Get the shape, get it all shaped right. What do you think? Isn't that cute? Oh my gosh. That is so cute. Oh God, I really like how that came out. In the pattern, there's also a piece for a tassel. So you can make your tassel. I didn't have a gold, I didn't have the gold hardware for a tassel. So I'll get one if I want to put a tassel on there, or maybe I'll put something else. But it doesn't need it. I mean, it really doesn't need it. This bag is so cute. I love how once you cinch these sides in, that shape, the shape looks so wonderful. I love the structure. I'm glad I added the foam. I'm glad I added that foam. So what do you guys think? This, I love, like I said, learning something new with how to do this zipper paddle. I think it's so clever. And so I'm going to have the link for the pattern in the description. Please get the pattern. This was not a very difficult sew at all. I know I had moments when I was kind of, but don't let that deter you. This is a wonderful pattern. And I will definitely be making another. Just like and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications if you love this video. Continue so I can continue doing this. I really am so happy to be doing this for Toby. She's so wonderful and she's such an inspiration. So thank you again for watching and see you next time at Soulful Creations.